Hey guys, it is your girl Jade Ashley, and I am back with another video of When a Beat Drops. And like always, you know, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats in music of this week. So of course, you know, you gotta stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. I'm sitting here looking at myself in the camera and I'm like, this side looks shorter than this side, but that's because the curls on this side drop more than this one. So I'm like, But other than that, we're gonna get into our 5 beats of this week. And my first beat of this week, we have a lot of new music to talk about, which I'm so excited about. So my first beat of this week, we have to talk about Rick Ross. So Rick Ross, he dropped his new album Better You Than Me this week, and honestly, when I heard Rick Ross was coming out with a new album, I was like, oh, okay, you know, usually you would want an artist to like drop a single so you can like, you know, build up the momentum. But it's 2017 nowadays. They just be like, I'm dropping an album, and they drop it. So, you know, my initial thought when I heard that Rick Ross was dropping an album was, okay. But, you know, right before the album dropped, you know, it was a lot of buzz surrounding this album just because of some of the songs that he had on there. You know, he had the Apple in My Eyes, where he kind of, you know, mentioned, you know, he warned Meek, you know, not to mess with Nicki, but, you know, instead of beefing with him, he just kind of let it be. You know, the idols turn into rivals. Like, it's just so, well, idols become rivals, but there's just so much. So one thing that kind of pushed me towards, you know, listening to it even more was I was just hearing so many people talk about, oh, that new Rick Ross album is dope, this and that. So I'm like, alright. So I went to my handy dandy Apple Music and I was like, let's see what this album is about. I first listened to it earlier this week when I was in the gym. So I would definitely say that, you know, his new album, Better You Than Me, is some good gym music. If you need that music that's going to pump you up and keep you going, definitely this is an album that I would recommend for working out for sure. But other than that, we're going to get into it. So I had already mentioned the first track, which is Apple of My Eye, and that's where I talked about, I guess like the highlight of it is, you know, him warning, you know, Meek Mill about Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. Another thing that a lot of people started to mention with this album, or that they kind of said with this album, is that they kind of feel like he's a little bit more mature with his lyrics. Now, that's not for every song on this album. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. And I'm not gonna talk about every song, obviously, but I'm gonna talk about the songs that stuck out to me the most. So, you know, Apple of My Eye, obviously, right out the gate was gonna stick out to me, especially with that whole Nicki Minaj line. The second one is Santorini, Greece. I don't know. I can't pronounce it. But that song was cool. And then of course I, you know, mentioned idols become rivals, and this one was definitely, I don't want to say controversial, you know, kind of track, but definitely a track that had everybody talking because he, you know, basically threw shots at Birdman, something he's definitely done before. You know, a lot of people was like, oh, he came for Birdman. I'm like, did y'all not see that Breakfast Club interview he did where he basically said he can't respect Birdman for what he's doing to Lil Wayne? Like, this is not the first time he said something about it. Probably the first time he said something about it on the track. But yeah, I think another thing that kind of, you know, was a learning moment or something that made everybody go, okay, was when he also kind of mentioned that, basically insinuating that Birdman kind of fucked, you know, DJ Khaled over as well. So, you know, it's a lot going on. So everybody more than ever is probably like giving Birdman a side eye right now. But other than that, one of my favorite songs, the minute I first heard this song when I was listening to the album, is Trap, 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 Trap. Like, I love that song, and basically it sounds exactly what it's like a trap song. And definitely, like I said, when you want to work out, this is definitely an album that you might want to listen to, because it's definitely going to keep you pumped. And listen to Trap Trap, because like trap, there's 3 traps. But yeah, I like that song a lot. Definitely upbeat. Then he has this song Dead Presidents featuring Future and I'm looking at it right now. Future and Young Jeezy. And I mean, it's pretty much what we call dead presidents, basically money. So, you know, She on My Dick, I don't like that song whatsoever. Gucci Mane, like, yeah, he was like, oh, you know, Rick Ross, he sounds so mature with his lyrics. And I mean, the concepts on this album is definitely more mature, I guess you can say, prior to, you know, other songs and stuff like that. But that She on My Dick, I was like, nope, he done fucked it up for me. Another song that I absolutely love, I would have to say, is I Think She Like Me featuring Ty Dolla $ign. And I mean, name one song that Ty Dolla $ign is not featured on in that flop. Like, literally, if you get you a Ty Dolla $ign feature, 9 times out of 10 your track, you know, it's going to be pretty good. So I Think She Like Me is also another great song that I would recommend when listening to this album. Scientology was something that I was definitely interested in listening to, only for the simple fact that I don't know too much about the, I don't know if you want to call it like a religion, I don't know what it is, because Scientology, like to me it just sounds like it's not a good thing, basically, and stuff like that. But he kind of, like, you know, made the correlation of like hip-hop and stuff. So, you know, that was more not a slow track, but it wasn't an up-tempo track, but it was like a track where you definitely listen to the lyrics. And I also like the Lamborghini doors, and I like that because I like the story that he tells at the beginning, where he's like, you know, when Meek Mill, you know, caught that case and he was in jail and stuff like that, I went to go visit him, and when I got there and I got on the block, all the other inmates was banging on the door and stuff like that, and they was saying to him, you can't go in there. So he had to leave and come back. And then he talked about when he came back to the jail and he was approaching, I guess, Meek Mill or whatever, he heard him like rapping, and it kind of got into the song, and you know, all of that. I just basically gave y'all like the whole story, and then, you know, they start rapping, and then, you know, Meek is on it. So, you know, it's just real cool. Like, I like the storyline of that song for sure. Lamborghini doors. Other than that, those are pretty much, you know, songs that stuck out to me. He has Summer 17, so you know how like last year Drake, he set it off with the Summer 16, so I guess, you know, Rick Ross, he's, you know, gonna claim that Summer 17 featuring Yo Gotti. Other than that, the album, it was alright. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my gosh, that is the best album I heard of 2017. You know, it's still early, but I definitely think it was, you know, a pretty cool album, because especially I don't remember the last time like I heard like a new Rick Ross. Like, Rick Ross, he been, you know, laying low for a minute, you know, not too long, but, you know, laying low for a little bit, and, you know, just doing like more things on like the business side of things. But, you know, he's definitely going to keep the momentum going with the music, because also this week he announced the title of his 10th studio album, and he is going back to the basics, and he is doing Port of Miami 2, Born to Kill. So if I had to, you know, rate it from like 1 to 10, I would probably give Rick Ross's new album, Better You Than Me, maybe 1 to 10, maybe roughly 6.5, 7, just because it's not like every song that probably stuck out to me. And then again, this is only like the first week, you know, this is like just my initial reactions, you know, over time, you know, something else might stick and stuff like that. So for right now, definitely the 6.5, 7. And if you checked out this album, definitely comment below and let me know your thoughts. Other than that, we have to keep it moving with the new music. And of course, y'all know I'm not going to do this video without talking about Drake and his whole new, he calling it a playlist, but I'm gonna call it an album, More Life, because it's nothing but new music. So a playlist, whatever. More Life. So More Life came out last weekend, Saturday, on the 18th, I believe that was. And basically, you know, he made the announcement, you know, the week prior, letting y'all know it's finally coming. He done teased, you know, More Life for months now. It's like he dropped Views, and, you know, Views was like this successful album that was highly anticipated, and he was like, I got more for y'all, it ain't over yet. So here we got More Life. And basically how he kind of like rolled out the music was on Saturday he played the whole album live on OVO Sound Radio. Now me, I have Apple Music, but I don't really listen to like the radio, so, you know, I was like, I gotta listen to this. So while it started playing, I was still like in my last hour working, so it's like I was listening to it. So I was listening, but I wasn't like getting into it. So then it was like a separate day. I just kind of had to, like, you know, sit listen, pay attention, and, you know, analyze what I like, what I probably didn't like, and stuff like that. So I will say, starting off with the first track, Free Smoke, he set it off. It's fire, straight fire. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Free Smoke, I was sitting there listening, so I was like, yeah, Drake, get it. Free smoke, right? I was like just getting into it. So, you know, he had me. I was like, all right, I'm feeling this. And then he lost me right after that. I'm sorry. Like, I think Drake is cool, but I feel like sometimes Drake does too much to me, for me sometimes. Like, I have to be honest with y'all. So he went from this dope track to Free Smoke, and then by the time he got to the second track, No Long Talk, I was like, hold on, pump the brakes. And the only reason why I say that is because I understand, I guess, you know, the whole, you know, West Indian, I don't want to say West Indian lifestyle, but, you know, there's like a lot of West Indians in, like, you know, Canada, the Toronto area. I know they have Carabana every year and stuff like that. I'm not West Indian, but pretty much damn near all my friends have like some West Indian descent, and even some of like my family members. But Drake, he be taking it too far. Like, he sitting there like with the West Indian accent. I be like, Drake, what you doing? Like, you have Jewish. Like, what was this? Like, no, like, just stop. Like, just stop. And that's exactly what I thought when I first heard No Long Talk. I was like, all right, you know what? You losing me now. I'm like, next song. And then it didn't even get any better. I'm sorry. It did not get any better. So following No Long Talk was Passion Fruit. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people sit here and say they like Passion Fruit. Now, maybe somewhere down the line, I might be able to get into it. But, you know, it's just kind of like the order in which things went. How he just went from, you know, rapping, and then he went to Jamaica and shit. And then he came back and he did Passion Fruit. And this sounded like a 60s disco song to me. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, Drake? What are you doing? And he started singing. And I'm like, this is why Charlamagne was mad at him before. Like, it was just like, I was just like, it's too much going on. But then gradually, he started grabbing me back in. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm feeling this one. Okay, I like that one. So a couple of other songs that I definitely liked while listening to the album was Blim. Now that still has kind of like, you know, like the West Indian vibe to it, you know, like reggae, whatever you want to call it. But I like that song. I could definitely get with that song. That song is definitely a vibe. You want to catch a vibe to that one, if you want to call it that. But Blim is definitely a song that I would recommend listening to without a doubt. And I also like his song 4422 featuring Sam Fudd. And I have not heard from him in a very long time. Like, and I don't know if it's because, you know, he's a UK rapper and I'm here like in the States and I'm not really into like UK music like that, but I kind of feel like, you know, he just kind of like risen up. Like, I feel like Drake was just pulling people in there, and, you know, on this album that you ain't hear in a minute, you like, oh shit, like, where he been? So I definitely like that song without a doubt. Another song that I definitely like. Now, this song I knew I liked when I first heard it, when I listened to it on OVO Sound Radio, which is Portland featuring Quavo and Travis Scott. That was definitely, I would probably say, the first song from this album that just stuck to me, especially because, you know, like Travis Scott and like Quavo, pretty hot right now. You throw Drake in there and you definitely got a hit. So Portland is definitely another favorite of mine, and also a favorite of a few other people that I've been seeing talking about it on social media. Then we have the song Sacrifices. Now, this is a song featuring 2 Chainz and Young Thug. Now, I know this is a Drake song. I know like 2 Chainz and Young Thug are features on it, but to me, Young Thug stuck out on this track only because he was rapping and I understood everything that he said. Like, it's kind of like it was Drake rapping, then, you know, 2 Chainz came in. So I'm listening and I'm like, who the hell is that? And then I'm looking and I'm like, featuring Young Thug. I'm like, that don't sound like Young Thug, because y'all know he go the da, 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 da. Like, I can't even do his voice, but you know Young Thug. And he switched it up. And then he kind of got into his little Young Thug voice. But for the very first time, I was able to like listen to like Young Thug rap. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Young Thug rapping. Which was on Sacrifices. Another, you know, song that definitely everyone was talking about was Teenage Fever. And this was a song that people talked about because of the J.Lo sample. So we all know, and I believe I talked about it on here, how they was like, oh, you know, Drake and J.Lo was dating. And I was like, you know, I think they just working on music. I heard one of the songs J.Lo was actually on, but he kind of like took out her part. I don't remember what song that was. Long story short, she's not even on the album. But he did, you know, sample her song If You Had My Love on Teenage Fever. Everybody was like, Drake, you not slick, we see you, you know. But like I said, I didn't think it was like a real relationship anyway. Like, I just thought it was just music strictly, and I'm still sticking to that. But other than that, another stick out song, or another song that had everyone talking, was Glow featuring Kanye West. Now this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first song that, now this might have been recorded prior to the fact, but the release of it was the first song that we've heard, you know, Kanye West on since his whole like breakdown that happened towards the end of last year and stuff like that. So Glow, I think, was pretty dope, just for the simple fact that he had, you know, Kanye West on it. Other than that, you know, he had an interlude from his mom where, you know, she pretty much was talking about, you know, I see you kind of angry with the recording and stuff like that. And it was kind of like in correlation to like the whole thing that happened with like Meek Mill and stuff. And then, you know, she had to take a page out of Michelle Obama's book, you know, when they go low, we go high. And then it ended off with Do Not Disturb, and I think that was definitely another good track. So I feel like the first and last tracks were definitely strong tracks, and, you know, I have my few favorites, you know, here and there in between. Obviously, I didn't read off every track, but 1 to 10, I would definitely give, More Life 1 to 10. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. I would say probably a solid 8 for sure. So definitely let me know your thoughts on this project if you checked it out, and if any of the songs that I said I like happens to be songs you may or may not like as well. And, you know, speaking of just all this new music, I'm just so here for it. Kendrick Lamar. Now this happened like right before I pressed record. So earlier today he dropped a cover. It was just a cover. You go on Instagram and it's just this black cover with the number 4 written in Roman numerals. Nobody knows if it was an album, if it was, you know, a single, whatever. But literally we got our answer right before I pressed record. So basically he dropped a new single called The Heart Part 4. And I'm pretty much assuming that this is gonna lead into an album. One thing I say is because Kendrick Lamar is not the type of artist to just drop singles. You're not gonna get that from him. You're gonna get a full body of work. Kendrick Lamar, he'll drop something, you know, hit these hit radios, these hit singles on the radio, you know, we see him performing here and there and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, Kendrick, we love you. Then he whistles away and goes mind his business and we don't hear from him, and then, you know, pops back up, and this is the moments where he's popping back up. So like I said, he released the single cover, because now we know that it's a single, earlier today, and he just a couple of things. I listened to it like maybe 3 times prior to pressing record because I couldn't, you know, delay the video too much. But he definitely snapped. He snapped. You don't expect nothing but great lyricism from Kendrick Lamar, number 1. But he definitely snapped. A couple of things that I was able to kind of grasp up by listening to it, you know, just, you know, 3 times, was he definitely has something to say about this whole Donald Trump bullshit that's going on. You know, he kind of got at the Electoral College and stuff like that. He did say something about an album. So I would definitely hope that an album is coming, and I would expect the album to come next month. One of my theories that I had, you know, just from looking at the cover prior to this single releasing was, you know, well, April's the 4th month in the year. So I definitely believe that his album release date might, you know, come next month in April. And yeah, Kendrick Lamar, and like, seriously, honestly, the minute Kendrick Lamar dropped this cover, everybody forgot about More Life. I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody was sitting here like, well, you know, Kendrick he's a better lyricist than Drake. I'm like, where the hell Drake come from? Like, why y'all mentioning Drake just because Kendrick dropped the cover? Like, but I'm here for it. I told y'all, I love the new music. I'm definitely here for it. I will definitely try to have, you know, Kendrick's new single, The Heart Part 4, up on my blog. So definitely head over to www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Now we're going to keep it moving, and we're going to go to my 4th beat of this week, and I'm going to briefly talk about the not the new season, but the season spring premiere of Empire. You know, they did like a mid-season break, and now they're back for the remainder of the 3rd season. And there was so much that went down this past week on the show. I don't want to take too much time to get into it detail by detail, but the one thing that few things we could talk about. Okay, we know that the show kind of left off with Jamal going to rehab. So fast forward a couple of months, Jamal, he's doing better with, you know, I guess his addiction. We all know he kind of got addicted to like the painkillers after he got shot and stuff like that. So now, you know, his isolation from everything, from the rest of the world and stuff like that, and kind of like getting the treatment is kind of like sparking something in his head. I feel like he's definitely, well, out of the Lions, there's only 2 musicians, but he's definitely, obviously, more of a musician to me compared to Hakeem. And like just one of the best, like just his desire, his character. And I would imagine Jussie Smollett being like this in real life, just so eager to do the music. Like you just get this thought, you get this melody, you like, I gotta lay it down, I gotta get this song. So that's pretty much what he was battling with and wanting to do music. And he kind of had to escape to get the music done and stuff like that. Rumor Willis, who is the daughter of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, she's on this season as well, and she plays I guess a recovering singer as well. I think her name was Ash, and they were doing a song together. And I don't know if that was Rumor Willis' like her real voice. I don't really know her too much to sing, but if that's her real voice, homegirl could definitely sing her butt off. So I enjoyed that part of the episode. The next thing I do want to talk about is this whole fight between Nessa and Tiana. So I was here for Nessa. I'm still here for Nessa, I think, but you know, I'm kind of a little bit iffy on her right about now, just because she's sleeping with Andre. So I don't know if she kind of feel like, you know, Andre, he kind of like getting back into, you know, the company and, you know, regaining his position after Rhonda's death. Mind you, Rhonda never still had a funeral, I'm just saying. But you know, his whole goal is to kill his father. He needs to get his shit together. He needs to take his medication. But I don't know if she kind of feeling herself a little bit because she's sleeping with Andre. But you know, she got this spot, or Andre kind of plotted to where she got the, you know, this spot on a artist showcase or something like that. Now granted, you know, the way they went about it was a little bit, you know, but I do feel like Nessa as an artist, you know, speaking about these characters on Empire, I definitely feel like she deserved it because vocally she's way stronger. But you know, the performance, Hakeem and Tiana crashed it, and it ended with them fighting. And I think the funniest part was what Lucius said to Cookie. You see what you done did? Now you got this girl's ass beat in front of the whole world as they was fighting, and you know, everybody was paying attention to that. But obviously the highlights of this entire episode was Cookie letting Lucius know, if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for my sacrifices, if it wasn't for me doing 17 years, this whole thing, this whole empire, all these records, none of that would be possible without me. So she had okay guys, sorry, so my camera turned off, but basically Cookie, she went full throttle, you know, Beyonce. She definitely, you know, saw the hold up video probably like 100 times. Took the bat, smashed up the whole office, basically letting him know without me this would not exist. And this all became possible, or this all stemmed from, you know, basically Lucius giving Boo Boo Kitty, you know, aka Anika, the A&R position, which was foul. So, you know, definitely is, you know, it's Empire. It don't get crazy. I mean, it's gonna get crazier. But definitely, if you're into Empire, let me know your thoughts on the first episode of the pickup from this current season. Other than that, we have to end it off with my last beat of this week, and they still disrespecting my homeboy Tupac. Like, they really disrespecting him. So my last beat of this week, I have to talk about the handwritten lyrics of Tupac's song Dear Mama going up for auction. So I felt like I've done a couple of topics and a few videos where I talked about Tupac's possessions being sold, and now they done sat here and they're ready to sell a whole nother item. This time his handwritten lyrics, his actual lyrics, the lyrics that he wrote in his handwriting to his most well-known song Dear Mama is up for grabs. Now if you have $75,000, you can get the actual paper that Tupac wrote the lyrics to Dear Mama on. And I'm just like, where is the respect? Like, I don't even think there's like a hip-hop like museum or something like that, but I definitely feel like things like this should be preserved. I know his mom passed away late last year, and I don't know, like, what's his sister? Like, does he have any other family members that can be like, yo, like, no, we're keeping this. This is a, you know, part of our family history and stuff like that. He's obviously a hip-hop icon, and it's kind of like, I just feel like, it's like, hey, if you got thousands, millions of dollars and you want this and it belongs to Tupac, here you go. So that's how I feel, and I just feel like somebody needs to stand up. It needs to be a stop to this. You know, I don't know. I have to look into it. I don't think there's like an actual hip-hop museum, but Diddy, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, all of y'all hip-hop moguls, y'all need to get on it. Y'all need to come together, finance a hip-hop, you know, museum that can, you know, preserve the culture and its history and stuff like that. So, you know, valuable possessions such as handwritten lyrics to one of the greatest hip-hop songs ever does not just go up to auction to anybody that got $75,000, because, you know, that's not right. Like, and obviously the hip-hop museum needs to be here in New York City because this is the birthplace of hip-hop, and like, I'm just over it. And I'm just like, Tupac, he's in heaven and he's sad. He's sad. He's in heaven and he's sad, and y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. But other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video, and of course, you know I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to comment, like, subscribe, and share. It would greatly be appreciated. Unfortunately, I have no notes to leave you guys with this week, but of course, you know I have to end this video by giving you my song of the week, and my song of the week is gonna have to go to Cash Doll. So I absolutely love Cash Doll. I think before I gave her song of the week way back for Run Me My Money, but she has a new single out called For Everybody. She released the video last week, but of course y'all know I didn't do a video for When the Beat Drops last week, but I felt like I could not let this go by without making this song of the week, especially because the music video is so dope. She pays homage to the movie Belly. Y'all know that classic scene between Keisha and Kiana, and basically she pretty much goes off as both the main chick and the side chick. Definitely killing it as the main chick though. So it's been something that everybody's been talking about, listening to the song, the music video. So definitely, if you want to check out the video in its entirety, you can head over to my blog at www.jade-ashley94.blogspot.com. Once again, I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.